This team had a 98% chance of winning their game, but choked it in the final seconds.
It's Montgomery, and the former Bear has given the Lions the lead.
We also saw the GOAT, Tom Brady, officially retired before the season began.
I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
But those aren't even close to the most shocking moments we saw during the 2023 season. So first, let's start with the play that left everyone speechless.
Holy cow, I cannot believe this.
The New York Jets have been bad for a long time. The last time they made the playoffs was in 2010. The longest active drought of any NFL team. They thought it would all change once they traded for one of the GOAT QBs, Aaron Rodgers. Jets fans finally thought that this was going to be their year, but just 4 plays into his Jets career, the unthinkable happened to Rodgers.
Protection breaks down and time runs out. Down goes Rodgers and the sack for Leonard Floyd.
He had the calf issue in training camp, but
He's coming out of the game.
Just like that, Rodgers tore his Achilles, ending his season. Jets fans also thought that this was the end of their season since they had to resort to Zach Wilson to replace Rodgers. And let's just say that Wilson isn't exactly a guy you have a lot of faith in. But there was still a game to be played. New York managed to take this into overtime, and after the Bills punted, we saw an ending that not even movie writers could come up with.
Line drive kick of Sam Martin. Gibson runs under it at the Jet 35.
Near side. I don't see any flags.
Blockers in front at the 40.
Inside the 30. It's the Jets. Rookie Xavier Gibson.
To the 10. To the 5. Touchdown. And it's a Jet touchdown. This game is over.
Wow, the NFL scriptwriters were really in their bag with that one. That wasn't the only shocking ending the Bills were a part of on a Monday night though. During Week 10, Buffalo and Denver were battling it out in a close game. Josh Allen, being the dog he is, scored a TD with less than 2 minutes to put the Bills ahead. This meant that all the Buffalo defense had to do was stop the Broncos and they would win. But of course, they had trouble doing that. A pass interference call would put Denver in field goal range. With 22 seconds left, they took a knee and rushed their field goal unit onto the field to attempt the game-winning kick. And what happened next, you would not believe.
Lutz. He missed it. But a flag is down.
12 men on defense.
Good snap, good hold. Kick. Perfect, and they're gonna leave with a win.
Imagine not being able to count as an NFL team. That's just embarrassing, man. This next moment also involved the Bills, but this time they were on the winning end of it. Buffalo and Kansas City were engaged in another epic game of their rivalry. Patrick McGoat was looking to pull off another epic come-from-behind victory, and it looked like he did, with one of the greatest plays I've ever seen.
There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage as the pass is to an open Travis Kelce, who flings it back over to Tony. My goodness, this is going for a touchdown.
But
19 offense lined up in the neutral zone. Wow. 5-yard penalty. Check him out.
Tony was lined up.
Got to be kidding
in
me.
the neutrals.
It just can't happen. These receivers can't get out of the way of hurting the team.
that's right. Kadarius Toney, someone who had already been horrible for them that year, made a crucial mistake of not lining up properly, meaning this play didn't count and the Chiefs would end up losing. And afterwards, Patrick Mahomes was not happy about it.
Terrible. Worst call I've ever seen, man.
We also saw a game where a team was literally killed on the field. In Week 3, Denver and Miami squared off in a game that started off pretty normal, with the Dolphins being up 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. But then, shit hit the fan.
In a game that almost defies description. From Hill, oh look at the move! Dazzling display, touchdown Miami. You can kiss him goodbye.
70 points. That number hadn't been reached since the 1940s, yet the Dolphins made it look easy against the Broncos. This game was so bad that people call the 2023 Broncos the worst team to ever exist, just 3 games into the season. But how could anyone forget when a player got into a fight with a random person in the middle of a game? When the 49ers came to Philadelphia, there was already high tension. San Fran lost to Philly in the NFC Championship the season prior, and Niners players had been doing a lot of trash talking leading up to it. In the middle of the third, Dre Greenlaw put out a WWE move on Devonta Smith, which the Eagles sideline did not like at all.
And now tempers flare.
That guy who Greenlaw tried to punch was Eagles chief security advisor Dom DeSandro, aka Big Dom. And he looks like a guy you do not want to mess around with. Both Greenlaw and DeSandro ended up getting kicked out of the game. After this incident, fans were left with many questions, like who was Big Dom DeSandro? What was he doing on the sidelines? And are the Philadelphia Eagles just a front for the mob? But our next shocking moment came when a referee made the biggest mistake of his life. In Week 16, the Lions and Cowboys were playing in a game that had major effect on the playoffs. Amon-Ra St. Brown scored a touchdown with less than 30 seconds left, and instead of tying the game up with an extra point, Detroit decided to go for the win.
Play action. End zone. There it is! Unbelievable! The 2-point try is good.
But then the referees decided to interfere with the game.
What else could it be?
Touching by number 68.
70 skippers coming in. Now Brad Allen's got the mix right there where he hears reporting and he sees 70 who has reported throughout the game. So the assumption there at that point was 68 says he's reporting.
Apparently, the Lions' trick play was so good that it confused the refs so much, so they called a penalty when the Lions did everything right. The Cowboys ended up winning the game, but Detroit wound up making it farther in the playoffs, so who was the real winner here? But the most shocking moment of the year came in the biggest game. Super Bowl 58 was filled with shocking moments. We saw a player suffer one of the most devastating injuries of his career,
And he's now in the blue tent, and it doesn't look pretty.
and we even saw a wide receiver throw a touchdown.
Juwan Jennings, trick play. Oh, this ball's in the air for a long time. McCaffrey's able to pull it down, and he's going in for the touchdown!
But the most shocking moment of all came at the end of the game. For just the second time ever, the Super Bowl went into overtime. This means we got to see the new overtime rules in effect, where both teams got at least one possession of the ball. And what the Niners did next left everyone stunned.
We're gonna kick that way.
They chose to take the ball first. Everyone knows that in this specific situation, you always go defense first. But apparently, the Niners thought that they could outsmart everyone else. After they scored their field goal, they left Patrick Mahomes with the ball, which is basically a death sentence. While Mahomes was driving down the field, San Francisco thought that they were a few seconds away from winning the championship. You see, in the playoffs, there can't be a tie. So if the clock expired on the Chiefs' first possession in OT, they would have just went into double overtime. However, Niners players thought that the time expiring would have made them world champions and were ready to storm the field when that happened. Fortunately for them, Patrick Mahomes prevented that embarrassing incident from ever happening.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City!
He is the best. He is the standard. Your Michael Jordan wins it again.